Now let us discuss about how to find out the relative occupancy of atoms in a cubic unit cell. Okay, how to find out the relative occupancy and the void space present in a particular cubic unit cell. Okay, so we already discussed about the three kind of unit cells: simple cubic unit cells, face centered cubic unit cells, and the body centered cubic unit cell. Okay, so let us see. If I will draw a simple cubic unit cell, so this is a simple cubic unit cell. In this simple cubic unit cell, we have atoms at corners only. Let us consider two atoms at the two different corners. Okay, so here you have two atoms at two different corners, and this one is what? Is the radius or r of the atom. This one again another r. So whole is what? A edge length. So here A is equal to what? 2r. Okay, so because in this simple cubic unit cell we have two atoms at two corners, and these corner atoms are touching each other. Okay, so this atom is the half part, the radius is on this axis, and this atom radius is in this axis. So this is your r. That means the center of the atom is present here. Is your r and r. So A, and this is the length of the unit cell. So A equal to what? 2r. Similarly, if I take FCC, here you see so we have in this FCC unit cell, we have the atoms at the corner, and again one atom at the face, at each face. Now the atom which is present at the face is not allowing the corner atoms to touch each other. Okay, so here we have an atom here at the corner. Okay, so here is the face and here corner. Okay, so I can say, so corner atom and face atom. Okay, so this face atom is not allowing the corner atom to touch to each other, right? So here you can say, you can put diagonal here. Okay, take A, B, C. So this the edge length A, this is also edge length A, because in a cubic unit also all the lengths are same. So this is A, this is A, again this angle is 90 degree. Okay, so it's a right angle triangle. So this AC will be what? The root 2A. Okay, so here you see AC is equal to root over AB square plus root over BC square equal to what? Root over A square plus root over A square. Equal to root over AB square plus BC square equal to what? Root over A square plus A square equal to what? Root over 2A square equal to what? Root 2A. So this much is what root 2a. Okay, but this root 2a what you see, this is your r, this is your r, this is what your 2r, this is again what your r. So we have the 4r. So this atom's radius r, this atom diameter 2r, this atom radius r. So r plus 2r plus r what 4r. So root 2a equal what 4r. Okay, this AC is what this AC is root 2a is equal to what 4r is equal to what 4r equal to 2d. Okay. Now if I take this body center cubic unit cells. So here also same case happens. So the atom present at the body doesn't allow the corner atoms to touch to each other. So here you see, here is a atom at the body, corner. Okay. See, this is the corner atom and the atom at the body. Okay. This you can say A, B, C. Again, you take it what D. Okay. Now in this triangle you see this triangle A. This will be what root 2a. So AC equal what root 2a here. Now this is your A, B is your A. So this is A and root 2A. This will be what AB will be what therefore AB is equal to, now AB, see the right angle triangle. Okay. So we will get what AB equal to what root over BC square plus AC square. Okay. So we will get what root over A square plus root 2a square. Okay. So equal what root over 3a square equal what root 3a. So AB equal what root 3a here, right? And this is what this one is your r, 2r, r. This is your r, 2r, r. So equal what 4r. Okay. So root 3a equal to 4r here. So root 3a equal to 4r here. Simply I say a equal to 4 by root 3r. A equal to 4 by root 3r, or you can say 2 by root 3d. Okay. 4r equal to what 2d. Okay. 2d by root 3. Now here root 2a equal to 4r equal to 3d. Okay. So therefore here also I can write a equal to 4 by root 2r equal to okay 2 root 2r, and here a equal to 2r. So now how to calculate the relative occupancy of atoms in the unit cell. So what we are exactly going to calculate? So how many spaces are being occupied by the atoms in the unit cell? How can we know it? We have the unit cell, it is having a volume AQ. So here in SCC the volume is AQ, FCC volume is AQ, BCC volume is AQ. Because it's a cubic unit cell and A is the edge length, so volume is what AQ here, AQ here, AQ here. Now in each unit cell we have the atoms, and the atoms are spherical here. So the volume of atom what here 4 by 3 pi r cube. So here the volume of atom is 4 by 3 pi r cube, 4 by 3 pi r cube, 4 by 3 pi r cube. But here we have only one atom, here we have 4 atoms, here we have 2 atoms. So the volume occupied by the atoms will be different in all the 3 cases. So in this case we have what only one atom, so 4 by 3 pi r cube is the volume of the atom. Okay, and here 4 by 3 pi r cube into 4 is the volume of atoms. So here the 4 by 3 pi r cube into 2. So the volumes of the atoms occupied space are different here. So the relative occupancy will be what here 4 by 3 pi r cube by a cube, here 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube by a cube, here 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube by a cube. Accordingly, we will get the different space occupied by the atoms. Obviously, here the volume occupied will be more. Here the relative occupancy will be more here. Okay, so in case of if you calculate, in case of a simple cubic unit cell, so we will have what more empty space will be there. With only one atom have occupied space, and here in FCC because the more atoms are there, so obviously the Bohr space will be less here. Okay, so let us calculate. So here your volume of atom 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, number of atoms 1. Here you see number of atoms already I will write here the 1. So here the volume of atom same thing 4 by 3 pi r cube, number of atoms equal to 4. Okay, volume of atom 4 by 3 pi r cube, number of atoms 2 here. Okay, so space occupied by atom equal what 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, so pi r equal to what here a equal to 2 r here, a equal to 2 r, so r equal to pi r cube. Then what here was 0 space occupied by atoms are 4 by 3 pi r cube into 4. Here what space occupied by atoms equal what 4 by 3 pi r cube into 2. Okay, now relative occupancy means the space occupied by the atoms relating to the volume of the unit cell. Okay, equal to how much 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by a cube, but a equal to 2 r here, we write what equal to what 4 by 3 pi r cube by 8 r cube is equal to, we will get what 0.524. Okay, so therefore I write what occupancy equal to 52.4% and the void space is what 47.60%. So in a simple cubic unit cell, 52.4% of occupied space and 47.6% of the space lying vacant there. Okay. Now in this FCC, in your FCC, you will get what the relative occupancy equal to what? 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by your AQ. So here A is what? A equal to what? 2 root 2 r. So equal to what? 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by 2 root 2 r cube. Obligate what? 74%. So 0.74 equal to what? 74%. That means here the occupancy is 74% and 26% is the void space. Okay. So occupancy equal to 74% and void space is what? 26%. Okay. Now, in the case of your BCC, body centered cubic units, also what you can say, the relative occupancy equal to what? 4 by 3 pi r cube into 2 divided by A cube. So here A equal to what? A equal to what? 4 by root 3 r. 4 by root 3 r. So equal to what? 4 by 3 pi r cube into 2 divided by 4 by 3 4 by root 3 r cube. Okay. So is equal to will get what? Will get what? The 68, 0.68. Okay. Therefore, occupancy is equal to what? 68% and void is what? 32%. Okay. So the highest void space is in your SCC, the lowest is in your FCC. Okay. So the void space in case of SCC 47.6, your FCC 26 and in BCC what? 32. So the meaning is what? Whenever we are having a face centered cubic type of environment, so very less space the lying vacant. So this is what you do about your relative occupancy of the atoms. Okay. Now next we will discuss your coordination number and the radius ratio. So next is your coordination number. See, coordination number is what? The number of neighboring atoms. Right. Coordination number of a particular atom is what? How many other neighbors surrounds it. In case of simple cubic unit cell, the coordination number is 6. In case of body centered cubic unit cell, so it is 8. And in case of face centered cubic unit cell, it is 12. That means whenever we are having a face centered cubic arrangement, to each atom another 12 atoms are being connected. Okay, so 12 neighbors are there for each atom. Similarly, in BCC, 8, in SCC, 6. Now, when we are going to discuss about the ionic compounds, for ionic compounds, the ratio of the radius of the cation and anion, because in ionic solution we are having a cation and anion, so the ratio of the radius of the cation and anion determines from the coordination number, and accordingly we can determine the shape. For example, you see, so if you have the coordination number is 2, if the radius ratio for an ionic compound is what? Then the r plus by r minus equal to 0 to 0.155. The radius ratio value lies between 0 to 0.155, then its coordination number will be 2, and accordingly the shape will be the linear shape. We have the example initially. Similarly, if the radius ratio value lies from 0.155 to 0.225, then the coordination number will be 3, okay, and shape will be the triangular. We have the example here, and take B2O3. Similarly, if the radius ratio value lies in between 0.225 0.414, then the Coulomb number will be your 4 and shape will be your tetrahedron. We have example here CuCl, C2SO, zinc sulfide. Okay, and again the next stage 0.4142 to 0.732, then the Coulomb number will be 6 and shape will be your octahedron. And we have NaCl, CaO, and that means in NaCl, each Na plus ion is surrounded by 6 Cl minus ions, and again each Cl minus ion is surrounded by 6 Na plus ion. That's the Coulomb number. So the Coulomb number of NaCl is 6 means each Na plus ion is surrounded by 6 Cl minus ion, and each Cl minus ion is surrounded by 6 Na plus ion. So octahedron is the same. Similarly, when the radius ratio value ranges from 0.732 to 1, then the Coulomb number becomes 8 and shape becomes cubic. So for a cubic crystal, the Coulomb number is 8. Okay, so CaCl, NS4Br, the examples we have taken here. Okay, so this is about your radius ratio value, Coulomb number value, and how to determine the shape of the ionic crystal from the radius ratio value and Coulomb number. Next, we will discuss about your packing of solids with voids. So now we will discuss about the closed packing structures. Okay, closed packing structures or closed packing in solids. Closed packing in solids. See, already we discussed that in solids the constituent particles are arranged in a definite regular geometrical manner. So the constituent particles are trying to arrange as close as possible so that minimum void space will be there. So if we arrange the particles, now suppose if we arrange the constituent particles in one dimension, suppose, okay, arrangement in one dimension. So here see, this is one atom I can arrange, another one, and so on. In this way you can arrange, or you can arrange like this. Okay, so this is your one dimensional arrangement. Here you see each constant particle is surrounded by another 2. The Coulomb number 2 is here is 2. If I consider this one particle, okay, and this particle is surrounded by one here and one here. This is called what? One dimensional arrangement. Okay. Now, if I will go for arrangement in two dimension. Here you see, in this case, arrangement in two dimension. Okay. Here see, we have the atoms arranged horizontally, and again we have the atoms arranged vertical. Okay. Can I have another one here? So this is one layer, one axis and the axis. So here we have arrangement in the vertical as well as horizontal, and here we can have two types of arrangement. This is one case. Here you see if I consider this atom you see, this is attached to this one, attached to this one, attached to this one, this one is. See, now this atom is attached to this one, attached to this one and this one. You see. That means see, one atom surrounded by other four atoms. So it's called what you know, square close packing. Square close packing in two dimension. Okay, this already we have done here. One dimension, this one or this one. Now this two dimensional element can also be another type, like see, here you see this, here you see your A and so on. Okay, if I have now we here, here you see, if you consider now this atom is attached to this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. This atom is attached to this atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is called what you know, the hexagonal arrangement. hexagonal close packing. So in 2 dimension we have this 2 types of arrangement. Here A, but here what your A, B, and so on. Okay. So here the coordinate number is 4. One atom surrounded by 4 others. But here one atom surrounded by the 6. Coordinate number 6. Okay. Now arrangement in 3 dimension. So the 3 dimensional arrangement will now depend upon the third layer. You will see this is so from the 2 dimensional arrangement we can obtain this 3 dimensional arrangement. Okay. Now here we can have your cubic close packing, and we can have your CCP, or you can have your hexagonal close packing. HCP. Okay. So in 3 dimension, we have the cubic close packing or the hexagonal close packing, and this we can obtain. So from this 2 dimensional close packing. Here you see in 2 dimension here in square close packing, one layer above this each atom we have again another layer. So one layer is placed above the other layer. Again above this layer, and here are person first layer, then on the left out vacancy of the first layer, so we have the second layer. Okay, so then again on the first layer. In this close packing, if I will place the third layer in the above this verse, here you see. So here is what. See, these are called here verse. They are called here verse. And in this verse, if I place again the atoms. Okay. So we have here you see 2 type of verse are there. This one you see. This one is below this. This is your above. Below and above, below and above. Okay. So we have to get the close packing in 3 dimensions. So we can go for your cubic close packing, or you can go for your hexagonal close packing. We can put this next layer just above this layers. Okay, A B there. Okay, again we can put your upon this and the layer we put here, and the one. Okay, so A B layer. Otherwise we can also go for your A B C. Already A B there. Now in this vacancy you can put. It's called what? A B C. So accordingly we will have cubic close packing, or we will have your hexagonal close packing. Okay, so the cubic close packing is what your ABC is what and this is what the AB. Okay. Now how about your verse? What are your verse? Okay. See, we have the 2 type of words. Okay. So when you arrange the atoms, see This is one atom, suppose. So this is the void. Okay. Or I can have this is one void. Okay. So this is a void. This is also a what? So void. So we will have two type of voids. So one is tetrahedral void and what you know octahedral void. This is what you know octahedral void. You have heard of tetrahedral void. Okay. And these voids depends upon the types of arrangement. Okay. Now you know crystal defects. Now crystal defects. See, whenever we are at the absolute temperature in the crystal, the constituent particles are orderly arranged. When there is increase of temperature, the chance that the lattice points may get distorted from their usual places, okay, is possible, and this is called defect in crystal. So whenever change of temperature occurs, there is a chance of occurring of defects in crystal possible. And we have two kind of defects. What your point defect and what your the line defect. Okay. So point defects are the defects where only the constant particles or the atoms is being mixed, okay, along the axis. Now this point defect can be what stoichiometric defect or can be what non-stoichiometric defect. Okay. So stoichiometric defects are those where the missing of the ions are as per the formula. Okay. The defect is correspond to the exact formula. Okay. But non-stoichiometric defects is not as per the exact formula. So these stoichiometric defects can be of two kinds. Schottky defect and what Frankel defect. Okay. And this non-stoichiometric defects can be what metal excess defect, metal deficiency defect, and what impurity defect. Okay. So we have the your Schottky, Frankel, metal excessive, metal deficiency, and your impurity defective. Okay. Now see, if I have these are the, I am showing the constituent particles, okay, constituent particles. Okay. See, suppose I have the A plus here, B minus, the ionic crystal A plus B minus, 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 A plus B minus. Okay. Now this is the perfect crystal. Okay. So each point are containing the ions and they are equal in number. Okay. Now see, suppose in this case, this A plus ion is absent and this B minus ion is absent. Okay. So if in a crystal the equal number of positive and negative ions are absent, that is called what you Schottky defect. Okay. So this is what you Schottky defect. Similarly, here suppose here A plus, E minus, A plus, E minus, A plus, E minus, A plus, B 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 minus. So this is your perfect crystal. Okay. Suppose one A plus is missing here, but this A plus is occupied at the lattice sides. Suppose. So from the lattice point, here you see here A plus and B minus both are absent in the lattice point. This is the lattice point absent. But here you see this one of the ion is absent, missing and present at the lattice site. This is called what? Frankel defect. So in all this, in both the cases, the number of positive and negative ions are is per the formula. Okay. So here both A plus B minus are missing. Okay. But here A plus is occupying the lattice site instead of a lattice point. This is called what? Frankel defect. Called what? Frankel defect. Okay. Now, here see A plus, B minus, A plus, E minus, A plus, E minus, A plus, E minus, A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus, E minus, A plus B minus is your perfect crystal. Okay. Now suppose this A plus is absent here, okay. Charge is not balanced, it is called what? Metal deficiency defect, okay. So it is deficient here, okay. Okay, so this is what metal is absent here, the metal deficiency defect, okay. Okay. So A plus B minus, A plus B minus, A plus B minus. This is perfect crystals. Now suppose what you have here, another particle A plus is there. So in addition to this, stoichiometric element, beyond that, another extra ion present here. This is called metal excess defect. Metal excess defect. Similarly, we can have impurity defect. Okay. Suppose Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, okay. So we have Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus. Okay. So this is a perfect crystal. Now if we have, suppose Sr2 plus, okay. So on Cl minus is absent here, okay. And then option here. Here you see in this Na plus Cl minus crystal, okay, we have here one Cl minus option here, and here instead of one Cl minus with the Sr2 plus. That means what an extra type of ion is present here, okay. So this is called what impurity defect, okay. Okay. So the defect in solids, basically this Scotty defect, Frenkel defects, and these are responsible for the electrical conductivity of the solids. Here you see, we have the A plus, imagine A plus ion option there, and here we must have ion option there. So whenever such kind of solids are connected to an electric source, because here we are having a vacant space, so this nearby ion will move to this place. When this will move to this place, then this will move to this place. Then this to this, and so on. That means there will be a there will be a flow of ions, and because of this species will be able to conduct to electricity. Okay, so almost all kind of electrical conductivity and also some other properties your color centers are because of the defect in the solids. Okay, so this is all about your solid state. Okay, and about your then